This man that they attack him, he's my father-in-law. So he's just coming from us now, around 7:30 to 8. As he went to his house now, immediately when he sat down in the front of his house now, so they begin shooting him, and we don't know the people that they shot that man. And he is my father-in-law from the mosque, because the mosque is not far away from his house. We didn't know the people that he shot him. Their intention to kill him. We don't know. We don't know. There is one of his daughter. They took her to the bush. Then they have to pay money before they returned her. It was later, they just come to him now. Yesterday, by this time around, we are together with him. He is my father-in-law. No, they have done their best. No, they just go, immediately they hear this, they just come down. And they run out, those people, they run away.
Well, it's purely criminality. Armed bandits made an attempt to assassinate a community leader here in Kasomagani. But to the glory of Almighty God, they did not succeed. We are grateful to God that he is recuperating in hospital. So we receive all the details, and contrary to the insinuation that there was breakdown of law and order here in Kasomagani, we have confirmed that it is not true. What really happened was there was indeed tension as a result of the sporadic shooting, because security agencies swiftly moved to contain the situation, and we are also grateful to them. No life was lost, only Alhaji Amadou Suleiman, who sustained injuries as a result of bullet wounds, but he's responding to treatment. And like we said, what we also unraveled is the fact that they targeted him because he's cooperating with government and security agencies in the fight against banditry in Kajuru General area. We had them, and we are also impressed because people of different faiths, people of different inclinations here are working assiduously, and they are working together, and they look at what happened yesterday as a threat to all, not a sectional threat. We are really impressed, and in the course of our community engagement meeting with them, they explained to us their fears about bandits that are operating in the ungoverned space, and we equally allay their fears. We explain to them, we give them details of what troops and police are doing in the general area. There are many other things about the ongoing operation that we will not be able to make public, but what is important is the fact that government is working and security agencies are following up, and we are recording success going by the operational feedback that Kaduna State government is receiving daily from security agencies.
First and foremost, I would thank God for what happened yesterday, and I want to commend you for the effort of the community and the youth coming together regardless of ethnic divide. And this is one of the things that criminal elements will also take advantage of: divide the people and then set one against the other. While there is confusion, you carry out the activities. I want to commend you very, very much for what you have done. And our visit here, like the Honorable Commissioner said, is to also encourage you, to remind you that your collaboration with security agency in terms of providing of timely information is the key to success. Security is not a one-man business. It's a collective responsibility of the people and the security agents. The security agency cannot do anything if the people does not provide them the needed information. You are more in number, and you are here. You know the ground better. You have other sources. I want to use the opportunity to plead with you, to encourage you to always provide timely information. Once you get to know anything or hear anything, please feel free. Let us get to know in time about it, so that to be addressed. Before I round up again, let me just commend you once again and thank you for this synergy. You're working together. I urge that you continue to do this, and that's the only way the society can move and grow together.
The greatest challenge we're having in Kasumagani is the issue of this kidnapping issue. But the issue of conflict, religious conflict or ethnic conflict that's none, is not taking place because all of us have agreed to come together to work as family. Even what happened yesterday when this kidnapper entered the town, you can see how the Christian boys and then the Muslim boys work together in order to see that they curtail all this trouble. So this is our biggest challenge, is the issue of this kidnapping. Government are doing their best. They are deploying the police and then the army in order to support, to bring peace or to curtail any kind of conflict or anything. And then in issue of this kidnapping, yes, the government are doing their best. You know, when we talk about the government have agreed that everybody should be able to protect or be a security to himself. So you cannot call all the police and all the army to come in one place. The one we have, they are doing their best. The government are supporting.
Full suite of CBN banking regulations, and in all other material aspects, the banking subsidiaries will continue to be subject to oversight of the prospective prudential regulatory authorities in their jurisdictions.
But before this strategic decision can be actualized, 7 special resolutions must be passed, among which is the deliberation on the shareholders' holding come the restructure.
The scheme will result in transfer of GT Bank shareholders to Holdco in the same proportion as their current holdings in the bank, and the bank being held wholly by Holdco, which will be a regulated entity for CBN's purposes.
The whole idea of the holding company structure is to create more value for shareholders and increase shareholder value. So I'm happy you like the shareholding structure. The idea of holding company is not to introduce any new super shareholders. Your 1 share in the bank becomes your 1 share in the holding company. So complete transparency.
Voting on the resolution at the meeting is by poll, and based on the results, the motion is carried unanimously at 100%.
Thank you very much.
The report of this meeting will be filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the CBN for its final approval, after which a copy of result will be submitted to the Federal High Court to enable it to sanction the scheme of arrangement.
Meanwhile, Innocent Nigeria Limited, makers of Innocent brand of automobiles, has approached the Federal High Court in Enugu seeking to stop Guarantee Trust Bank from deregistering as a public liability company until the payment of judgment sum secured against the bank. Also joined in the suit are the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, and the Securities and Exchange Commission. In a statement, Innocent Nigeria listed the reliefs being sought to include an order restraining the Corporate Affairs Commission from deregistering GTB as a public limited liability company and/or registering the bank as a private limited liability company until it pays the outstanding judgment debt of 32.8 billion naira to Innocent Nigeria Limited. An order of perpetual injunction restraining CAC from registering or re-registering GTB as a holding or financial holding company, whether as a public or private limited liability company, until it pays Innocent Nigeria Limited the outstanding total judgment debt of 32.8 billion naira. An order setting aside the SEC's no objection to GTB's proposal to be re-registered as a private limited liability company and as a holding or a holding financial company. An order setting aside the CBN's approval in principle granted to the GTB to operate as a holding or a holding financial company, and an order of perpetual injunction restraining the CBN from granting GTB a financial holding company license and or a final approval to operate or carry on business as a financial holding company until it pays Innocent Nigeria Limited the total outstanding judgment debt of 32.8 billion naira. Innocent Nigeria says that since its secured judgment against GTB, the bank is yet to come up with a payment plan and now seeks to deregister itself as a public limited liability company.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Coming up today, the Executive Director of Faith Foundation, Adenike Adeyemi, talks to us about the foundation's efforts towards bridging the unemployment gap in Nigeria. We also hear from the Managing Director, DHL Express Nigeria, Muiwa Adesheyaju, on how the organization uses the SDGs as a roadmap for development. Once again, welcome to the program. Let's begin with the Faith Foundation, which is a non-profit organization with a mission to create entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Find out more. Founded in March 2000 by the founder and pioneer managing director of Guarantee Trust Bank, Fola Adiola, Faith Foundation is a non-profit organization aimed at harnessing the strong entrepreneurial culture of Nigerians by providing the business incubation, growth and accelerator support required to fully explore their innovative potential. Its enterprise development approach involves a mix of enterprise learning, mentoring, growth advisory support, funding linkages, research and policy advocacy, with the overall aim on enabling Nigerian entrepreneurs start, grow and scale their businesses. The Foundation's sustainability model is driven by funding and technical support from local and international partners and enabled by a strong volunteerism strategy, which facilitates the engagement of industry leaders, experienced entrepreneurs and professionals to volunteer their time as facilitators, mentors and advisors to entrepreneurs. To date, Faith Foundation has over 6,000 graduates in its full-time programs, of which 65% of them are still actively running their businesses. With over 180,000 Nigerian youths enabled on the path of entrepreneurship, Faith Foundation is no doubt reducing the unemployment gap in Nigeria. Now let's hear from the Executive Director of Faith Foundation, Adenike Adeyemi, about what the organization has achieved so far. When the Faith Foundation began, what was the objective and the mission of the foundation?
So Faith Foundation began in 2000. It was founded by Mr. Fola Adiola, the founder of GT Bank, and at the time he was the MD CEO of the bank. And for him, he spoke about how they would interview for a limited position and they will get a lot of students or recent graduates who had done very well in school and who would interview to work at the bank. But then the positions were very few, but the candidates were so much, sometimes in the thousands. And they always wondered if there were other opportunities that could be given to these young Nigerians. And really that was the driver for the founding of Faith Foundation, is to create a platform to promote entrepreneurship as a compelling alternative to employability.
Your main focus is building micro, small and medium enterprises in Nigeria. I mean, a lot of people have talents, but they do not have the platform to grow these talents. How has Faith Foundation been able to help them grow?
Okay, so think of micro, small and medium enterprises as the engine of the country. They create 70% of the jobs that are created. They solve a lot of solutions with their products and services. With an entrepreneur, it usually starts with an idea. And so we have programs that are focused on idea stage, so helping people to think, ideate on their businesses, use a design thinking model and think of taking that idea to developing a product or service prototype. So those programs that we do under the ideation are called pre-incubation programs. And then we now do the ones that are now focused on, now that you've started that business, you've been able to create that product, that service, how do you get your market to know about it? How do you get your market to buy it? How do you create a business structure around it? So the two main programs that we do around that is the Aspiring Entrepreneurs Program, which, by the way, we've run since 2000, and we're currently in our 91st stream of that class, and I'm very excited about that. And then the second program that we do is the Orange Corners Incubation Program. So that's the program we do in partnership with the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And we help people who, and it's a 6-month program. So it's an incubation. Think of like a fetus or a baby that has to come out of the womb prematurely. So it's helping people incubate their idea to the point where they understand their business, they understand their market, they understand what the regulatory requirements to be able to run and build that business in Nigeria, and also link them with funding to do that. So with the Orange Corners Incubation Program, we have a funding portfolio of between 5,000 euros, sometimes about 20,000 euros, where people are able to build and grow that idea with additional funding support. We launched that last year. With the Aspiring Entrepreneurs Program, we do that across Nigeria. We've been able to reach about 13 states and counting in the last 3 years, and we do that in partnership with different organizations. One of them is Facebook, and with the partnership we have with Facebook, we even detail it to a program called the Aspiring Entrepreneurs Digital, because now the great thing about the way the world is going is that you're not limited by your physical geographies or boundaries. You can sell your products to anywhere, if you're in Lagos, to anywhere across Nigeria, across West Africa, and literally across the world. The second is that when you are building your business, you get to a growth stage. And usually as your business is growing, it evolves in different dynamics. Sometimes you'd have started with products and services, and then you now come across new opportunities, and that's where our Emerging Entrepreneurs Program comes up. Then the last set of programs that we do, which we introduced in 2017, is our Scale Up Lab Accelerator Program. And that looks at high growth potential businesses in line with Nigeria's growth trajectory. So agribusinesses, creatives, health, and education. And we do a 6-month accelerator program where we take in 10 to 20 people per cohort and walk them through, and they're usually from different states in Nigeria, and run them through an intensive 6-month accelerator program that helps them think through their business, understand the value chain that they're in with their focus sector. And we've been privileged to do that with the Africa Capital Alliance Foundation, who has also funded one part of our accelerator for the last 3 years. So essentially our programs, if you ask me what we do at Faith Foundation, I would say we help Nigerian entrepreneurs to start, grow, and scale their businesses.
And are these programs specifically meant for young people?
So that's an interesting question. So our primary focus, yes, is young people, and we started out really ensuring that young people have a viable pathway to be able to create employment for themselves as entrepreneurs. And then also, young people make up a significant percent of Nigeria's population. But what has also happened is that over the years, our young people have also grown. So the person that came to Faith who was between 25 and 35 is now between 45 and 55. Their businesses have also grown, their businesses have also evolved. And so what we've also done, because we also have a very strong alumni support network, is also to ensure that as a person's business grows and evolves and their needs also change, we also have additional programs that support them. So for instance, this year we signed an MOU with the Nigerian Stock Exchange to ensure that our more matured businesses can now also list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange Growth Board. With that, a lot of our young entrepreneurs have married, they've had children. In fact, we have at least 2 of our entrepreneurs whose children have also come through our programs recently with that.
This year has been the most challenging for lots of MSMEs, from the COVID-19 pandemic, the lockdown, even the NSAS protests. It's been quite challenging, if you ask me. And what is the Faith Foundation doing to help cushion the effect of what businesses have suffered in Nigeria?
Honestly, like you said, nobody predicted this year. All of us did not predict this year. And even when we teach our entrepreneurs to prepare for crises or challenges, every scenario we spoke about never thought about this. But one of the things that I'm very proud to say is that every work we've done over the last 20 years really also prepared us to effectively support our businesses at the time. When the pandemic started, there were 2 things that we did immediately. First off, we wanted to know exactly what the effect was on our businesses. Another area of the work that we do is around research, and that research is very important in the way we design programs. So between April, we conducted a COVID-19 impact of MSME survey. In fact, we ended up not just even doing that research with the entrepreneurs, but just opening it up. And we had over 1,940 entrepreneurs across Nigeria that responded to that survey and showed us that over 90% of people had impact of their businesses. There was significant impact on cash flow. That now led us to design what we call the Business Recovery Program to say, okay, how do we support our entrepreneurs beyond and during the crisis? In March 22nd or 23rd, I believe, we set up the Faith Philanthropy Coalition for COVID-19 support. So Mr. Foladiola seeded the fund, and we reached out to quite a lot of other individuals and partners who ended up donating up to over 377 million into the COVID-19 support fund. And the main objectives of that fund was to capacitate health institutions to be able to support the public health space with that. So we worked, we've so far to date, we've supported health institutions in Lagos, in Ogun State, and also in Abuja. We support the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital to run full-scale public free COVID-19 tests in partnership with Life Bank. We worked with Ogun State to also set up full free COVID-19 testing for the public in partnership with Flying Doctors. And then the one that I really am excited about because of the, not just the immediate impact, but the larger impact on Nigeria as a whole, is the support that the grant we gave to the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research to develop an innovative research for a test kit called the CIMA COVID-19 test kit, which allows people to be able to test the COVID-19 virus. Why is that important? It's an innovation developed by Nigerian researchers. It was led by Dr. Chika, working with the DG, Professor Salako in Naimer, to develop this test that could potentially impact how we test our own populations in Nigeria.
And are you looking at research for other diseases affecting the population in Nigeria?
So yes, a lot of our focus around the philanthropy is looking at public health diseases or public health issues and supporting existing health institutions to be able to get the research to support that and to also expand it in different ways. 20
years of service to humanity. I mean, you've been the CEO of Faith Foundation for almost 6 years now. What's the experience been like for you?
It's a very fulfilling experience. It's fulfilling in so many ways because it's been, when I came to Faith Foundation was the perfect merge for what I call my background in nonprofit work, but also my business mind. So it allows me to do the work in terms of investing in people, investing in lives, but also building business knowledge along the way. So if you think of even what has happened over the last 6 to 7 months, the calls that I have had with a lot of our entrepreneurs was not even just about their business, but the impact that the business closure would have on them not being able to pay salaries and what that will have on their employees not being able to feed their families, pay rent, or pay for education. And also I have a really amazing team who also help to ensure that across the country in all the work that we do, that work continues to yield the kind of results that we do in so many ways.
For any economy to thrive, every government must create a conducive environment for businesses. Do you think the Nigerian government is doing enough, or what do you think should be done to help businesses?
If you ask most of Nigerian businesses what their #1 challenge is, they will tell you is doing business environment, that it is tough, it is difficult, and it is very challenging, particularly in times like this. A lot of those challenges have to do with policy and regulatory issues, the #1 of which is even taxes. If we are serious about really harnessing the potential of our micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria, we have to make sure that the business environment is easier than it is. It has to be very easier to register a business. I really have to also commend that a lot of the review for the KAMA Act, for instance, is going to significantly help to resolve all of that. Some of the recent things, even around the Finance Act, that also focuses around SMEs, also is going to help that. But those acts and the provisions have to be implemented immediately. Nigerian businesses are responsible for 70% of the jobs that are created, almost 50% of the GDP, you know, so we can't leave them standing.
20 years from now, what's the next level of achievement you hope to see at Fate Foundation?
So for us, the next 20 years is building up on the legacy that we've created. One of the things we launched, because this week is our 20th anniversary week celebration, was we launched a book series. So we launched a handbook series to support Nigerian entrepreneurs to start, grow, and scale their businesses. And this book series has things around strategy, financial, tax management, legal, every critical subject that is important for businesses, for anybody who is starting and building business in Nigeria. And it was developed by Nigerians for Nigerians, so very localized business, the first of its kind. The second is being able to scale our work using technology and reaching more people that we can't reach in person. So one of the things that we'll be doing will be doing e-learning courses and online courses. So we'll continue to be doing a lot around research and policy advocacy, because no matter the investment we make in our businesses through education, through mentoring, through advisory, through funding linkages, if the environment is not sufficient, the entrepreneurs would only grow to a certain extent. So we see a bright future, we see a great future, and we see us continue to evolve in so many ways, reaching more than the 180,000 entrepreneurs that we've reached, and ensuring that we are able to support entrepreneurs to invest in Nigeria, to build Nigeria, and to create wealth.
And when we return on Kaleidoscope, we'll be speaking with the Managing Director of DHL Express Nigeria. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. DHL Express is one of the leading international logistics companies in the world. But let's find out more about their history and their operations. Founded in the United States in 1969 by Adrian Dalsey, Larry Hilblum, and Robert Lane, DHL is an international logistics company. In the late 1970s, it expanded its service throughout the world, and in 1979, under the name of DHL Cargo, the company entered the islands of Hawaii with an international island service. The company was primarily interested in offshore and intercontinental deliveries, while the success of FedEx prompted its expansion, which began in 1983. Today, DHL Express shares its DHL brand with business units as DHL Global Forwarding and DHL Supply Chain, and currently has over 380,000 people in over 220 countries and territories around the world, including Nigeria, who work every day to help cross borders, reach new markets, and grow businesses around the world by their services. DHL is as innovative as a startup, with the power of an international organization, boasting of an international team of professionals united by a passion for logistics who work in a unique environment. The Managing Director, DHL Express Nigeria, Muyiwa Adesheyoju, tells us about the various pillars that help implement their corporate social responsibility initiatives. Over 4 years ago, you took up this leadership role, but you have worked with DHL for over 26 years. So who better to ask this question? What makes DHL different?
DHL Express, as part of the DPDHL group, we have what we call a focus strategy. And that focus strategy, the first pillar of this strategy is motivated employees. We believe that with our motivated employees, we can render the quality of service that our customers expect of us, and that will enable them to have their loyalty to the brand, and that will give us a profitable network. So that's our belief, and that strategy is what we have been following consistently, and that consistency makes us different from our rivals and our competitors. Like many other organizations, you adopted the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to help you implement some of your sustainability programs. Tell us those areas you pay attention to. Well, as DPDHL Group, we have 4 sustainability programs. And the first one is we call Go Help. The next one is Go Teach. There is Go Green. And then the last one is Go Trade. So those are the 4 sustainability programs that we have in the group. And that is how we try to key that into the SDG of the United Nations. Let's begin with the Go Green initiative, where you plan to achieve 0 emissions by the year 2050. How is DHL working globally to achieve this? we initially set the goal to be for 2030, and 5 years before, we already, 5 years much earlier, we have already attained the goal that we have set for 2030. So now we are stepping it forward to 2050. And one of the things that we are trying to do is to make sure that all our employees across the globe are certified Go Green specialists. That is for them to have an awareness of what it means to do Go Green. One of the practical steps we are taking, because of the huge size of our fleet, and we have our aeroplanes all over the place, we have our vans, our trucks all over the place. So one of the major things we are trying to do is to move our fleet towards electric vehicles, electric vans, electric motorbikes. So those are the major steps we are going to take over the next couple of years to enable us attain that goal.
DHL Nigeria's Go Teach initiative with the SOS Children's Village has been running for over 5 years now. Walk us through how this program works and the impact it has made so far.
Okay, what we do is to first and foremost encourage the children to enable them have a correct understanding of how to work in a corporate environment. So we encourage them to come and do our facility tours, and then we get some of our staff to volunteer at that time to mentor them. And on top of that, we support their activities in terms of whatever they need to do in their SOS Children Village. We support them in terms of giving them books sometimes. We supply them some basic needs if they want. And then we make some donation from time to time to support whatever it is this SOS Children Village is doing. The impact, well, at least we have seen those children move on from school, and then some of them we have engaged them in employment, and that has really improved on the partnership that we have the SOS Children Village. So we have a program in place that will enable us bring them on board employment, and then we give them employment opportunities.
And sometimes we focus on the students and forget about the teachers, but DHL Express supports the Project Metal, which is Make Every Teacher a Leader.
Project Metal is something that is very close to our hearts, because we've seen serious progress being made by even the teachers. It's a collaboration between an organization and Unilag to train those teachers, and we have seen 200 teachers properly trained now in a bid to continue to support the children. And well, it was slowed down by COVID, but now they have managed to do an online, we've provided an online platform to enable them to continue to train those teachers. So more than 200 teachers have been trained on this program already. We support the Project Meta with logistics support. We give them some money, and then if there's any other thing, materials that they require, we support them with all of that. So that has really helped the Project Meta to progress.
And talking about COVID-19, at the height of the lockdown, DHL was the only logistic company that was able to bring in relief and medical materials into the country. Is that how committed the organization is to the health sector?
Well, yes. The answer is yes, but it's not only the health sector. The purpose of our business and the mission of the company is to continue to improve lives, supporting people or connecting people to improve their lives. So whatever we can do to actualize that mission, that is where we are. Luckily for us, during the lockdown, we got permit to operate a cargo plane into Nigeria, and we deliberately invested in such kind of assets because of this kind of situation that we know is likely to happen one day. So we put a lot of investments together in terms of our domestic network. We have 2 flights flying to Abuja and Port Harcourt. We have one that comes from Europe on daily basis. And then we have our boats also in Lekki to support, to beat traffic in Lagos. So we have put a lot of investments together. So during the lockdown, it was easy for us to bring in PPEs for COVID, test kits, and all sorts of things, that will support the health sector. And yeah, we were the only game in town just because of the investment we have put together. So we are very proud to say that, yeah, we lived to our purpose during that period.
The ICT sector is arguably male-dominated, but DHL is helping to change the narrative by helping women, not only women, but children interested in that field. What do you hope to achieve?
We have this organization called Solution 17, and the Solution 17 is also keyed into the 17 SDG goals. So they have these girls that they normally take through ICT, and we just bumped on them and decided to support them. We're giving them laptops, we're giving them, you know, all kinds of different supplies that they may need in a bid to get those girls to be ICT experts. So, and that is how we've been supporting them over the years. The ladies that are under the Solution 17 platform, and under the Solution 17, what they do is to train them, and they give them one of the SDG goals as their focus area. So, and then what we just do is to support them. We even assisted them to go to our head office in Germany so that they can go and see, you know, give them some bit of inspiration so that they can also continue on their path to become ICT experts as well.
DHL's Go Trade initiative aims to support sustainable economic growth by helping, increase the number of small and medium-sized companies. Are you pleased with what this initiative has achieved so far?
Well, actually, the initiative was launched early in the year, 2020, before COVID, and is the last of the 4 of our sustainability programs. But prior to that, we have been supporting SMEs in a bid to move their commerce across borders. So we've been supporting e-commerce businesses for quite a long time now. I think we started the program in 2016. And we launched the program where we say we take your trade across borders. So it's in a bid to encourage them to export and earn some foreign exchange. As you well know, the African Continental Free Trade Area is going to start in January 2021. So our Go Trade program will help in gathering the SME together to enable them trade freely within the continent of Africa, and that will encourage them to, you know, increase their business profile, first and foremost, increase their profitability, and then that will enable us to support them as well. So that's what the Go Trade program is all about. And I think we have seen a lot of remarkable improvement in either their business volume or their business revenue. So, and that we are happy to support going forward.
As your business grows, your corporate social responsibility initiatives or programs are expected to also grow. What are your plans for the future?
From my initial explanation on what we are doing on Go Teach, Go Help, Go Green, and now Go Trade, it's a program, it's an ongoing program. We'll continue to support businesses, we'll continue to support all those causes because it's part of our sustainability program, and we believe for the future we are there for, as far as we are going concerned, we continue to support those programs. It's a global mission, and we are just part of the globe, and we just continue to follow the trajectory. So whatever it is that the group is willing to do on a sustainability basis, we also in Nigeria will continue to do that to support our local communities as well.
And this is where we draw the curtains on Kaleidoscope for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, connect with us via social media handles, and also go to youtube.com/channelsweb to watch past editions of the program. I'll see you again soon. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Thanks for watching.